Now is the time to be a tier 1 team that you get to go into the major with. You get to create your own team name. So we're like, okay, the most fair way to do it by far is to like roll. You know, like in game you do the /roll thing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
God, I can tell this story now. It's been enough time. So so we all roll, and Rezo wins. And he's so excited to pick the team name.
Okay.
Because Misery's kind of like, I really like this Thunderbirds name. I think we should go with Thunderbirds. And everyone's like, the most fair way to do it is to just like draw straws or roll or whatever. And that's the most fair way. And Misery seems very reluctant to do this. He's really about that Thunderbirds name.
He's really about Thunderbirds.
He's really about it. So then, for, what's his name? Roman wins the thing. And then he's like, I want team, I think it was like team random or something. I can't remember. It was like some really weird name.
Okay. Like,
it was like Team Mystery or Team Random. It was like supposed to be a secret playoff or something. I can't remember. Anyways, that was his name. And then he tells Alyssa, our manager at the time, he's like, yo, this is our name. Then Rasmus supersedes him. And he says, you know what, fuck it, we're Thunderbirds. Just tell him that you put in our name already and you couldn't do anything about it. He was that obsessed with that name. And true to it, he has second picked a bird. He's first 2 picked his bird.
Yep.
I'm telling you, this man has this weird obsession. Like, he was so about... He had time to think over the decision that he was going to fuck over Rezo. He's like, Thunderbirds, we're doing it.
So he just went to the side, went to a list, and was like, yo.
We're Thunderbirds no matter what.
Put in Thunderbirds.
Just tell them that you couldn't switch it in time.
So does the rest of the team... Do they know about this?
No,
Do they know about Misery's deception?
No.
So when they check out this VOD, they'll know now?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter now. They're all on different teams and shit. I guess for Weehaw didn't win the roll, so he doesn't care. Yeah. I think Weehaw rolled like a 4. Rezo rolled like a 97 too or something, if I recall. He was real hype. If you know anything about Rezo, he's like a very happy-go-lucky guy. Yeah. In pubs, he's a terrible human being, but outside of that, just like many of us are.
And that's why Weehaw's gotten along so famously with the rest of the paiN guys.
Weehaw gets along with everyone for the most part.
He's had a great time in Brazil. Yeah.
He's
clicked very well with his teammates.
Yeah. On the flip side, I think Duster was a very talented player for this team. He often had a tank for this team. Yeah. I thought he played a fine disruptor. I think he's a good 5 position. He understands movement and stuff like that. Like, this guy did play to TI.
I think it's like his problem was a classic support problem. If you're a support player and you're not a captain, you're not a leader, then you're eventually going to get shoved aside for someone who is, right? Yeah. Like, it's very rare you see a 5 position who isn't a captain. It was King RD at that time, right?
Yeah, King RD had to be the captain for that time period. And the thing about it is that Misery coaches them, and then he's like, I was talking to him at TI, and he's like, there's one thing this team is missing, and he's like, it's discipline. And obviously that's what Misery will bring to the table. Right. That's why I think, like, he'll have an issue sometimes with, like, for example, teams like EG, where he's going to be more of a disciplinarian, whereas, like, a guy like Fly is a little bit more chill in that aspect. Misery's going to be like, this is the way that things are. Yeah. Which I think works for a team like paiN.
I've seen Misery get mad. It's, he definitely knows how to lay down the law.
But I think it works with a team like paiN.
Sure.
Where they're like these unmolded guys. A lot of these guys need direction. I mean, I'll tell you, Weehaw needs direction.
Okay. That actually, somebody asked me this yesterday. Yeah. They asked me, why is Weehaw not on a tier 1 team? And I said, I think paiN is actually pretty good right now. I would consider them maybe tier 1. Maybe they're not like, they can't actually beat VP, Secret, etc. But a lot of teams can right now, right? So, paiN is definitely a good team, but why isn't Weehaw someone who's placed second at a TI, who's won
a major?
A major? Yeah. Only one, right? Like, why isn't somebody like that higher valued in the Dota scene?
I think there's a lot of reasons. It's like, one, Weehaw's kind of a meme, you know, like with the WeFresh thing. Sure. Like, once you become a meme, it's like hard to
take you seriously.
Yeah, and then it's like perception sort of in the scene. It's sort of like this. If I had to ask you, like, who's the better captain, Kuro or No-Tail? You'd probably say Kuro. Yeah. But No-Tail's won so many major, like, he's won like every major in the world, and he got first. He won the most recent TI,
Mhm.
and that's the thing is like our perception of these things are kind of skewed, right?
Right.
Because if you look at a player like Anna, who in his like brief history in Dota, he's only really played on like a team and a half.
Yeah.
He played on that OG squad. All he's ever done is win it. All he's ever done is win, right?
Yeah.
Like
His success rate.
He's won a
compared to everyone
TI.
else's.
That year before, he won like every major. He
Mhm.
got like 8th at the other TI that they lost, which is unfortunate. But like his history is still, it's sick.
Yeah.
But if you compare him to a player like Artur, you would think in your mind like Artur's the better player.
Mhm.
But
You list Samael, Miracle.
yeah.
Like you those players are going to be top of the list over Anna, despite Anna actually having a better.
It's a bit
win rate
different
or
because those
success
guys,
rate.
I think those guys like have similar, that it's close enough
Yeah.
that you could like, obviously you would take Sumail because he's Sumail. But from a perception standpoint, there are a lot of players that you would like. For example, Ramses. Ramses is a really interesting case. This
Mhm.
kid, you can tell the talent. He's so
Yeah.
good. They're a really good team, but the perception is that obviously he's better than Anna. If you had to compare them one-on-one skill position-wise, like a lot of people would tell you, like just from that perspective, like pros would say Ramses is the better player.
Mhm.
But look at what Anna's done. And that's one of those things. It's like it's really interesting, and I think it applies to Weehaw where, he is a good player that's had a lot of results, but I think the perception of him is that maybe he's a bit of a clowny / like random player, because he is. Like when you think about his time having success, it was these weird heroes like Sky Mid, Earth Spirit, Wind Ranger. Like the only normal-ish hero he plays is Invoker, and even then, like he plays it in a kind of offbeat style. So it's like a different kind of perception, and so I think a team like paiN works for him because they're good, and he can kind of do his own thing because that's what you need him to do. Is like Weehaw just has to be his own guy.
We're pretty deep into the draft now, so we can touch on it a bit. Well, obviously, we're not going to have a ton to say about the draft. I've only watched a handful of pro games. I was watching some of the Chinese DPL games, but we don't have a whole lot of information on this patch. So we see the Axe Phoenix. That's like a classic combination there. Somebody that is able to protect the egg. Elder Titan has received some buffs. Seems pretty strong in the forward position. Naga Siren is probably the most interesting pickup here because I don't know about you. I've run into some Naga Siren carries. Any sort of, like, if you have a vision hero, Naga Siren is, like, incredibly hard to play against.
Yeah. She's very strong. Although Morph does beat her in lane.
Yeah.
So Terrorblade's pretty good too because you get, Reflection is awesome.
Naga Siren's definitely, I think, a slow rolling hero.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this hero is a little tough to beat in the laning phase for most offlanes, but doesn't really do a whole lot for you in the mid game. But once you start getting some of those late game items, these Naga Siren illusions just beat the hell out of your supports and your offlane.
I got a message from what's his name, Fogged yesterday saying ET, all caps. ET is so good right now. So we'll see how that goes. Also, Anti-Mage, a hero that obviously got a buff.
Oh, another high skill. Yeah. It seems like IceFrog's really on this like very outplay meta where we already talked about Monkey King and PA both getting that. Anti-Mage now with the spell shield active.
We rejoice. Your hero is back. Naruto is back in the game. He'll run with his arms behind his head, flying through the wind.
Timbersaw is an interesting pickup. Didn't expect to see this hero.
Yeah. I like Timber a little bit more than I used to.
Yeah.
I have to see him, I guess, in play right now to see whether or not he's actually viable. He has a weird laning phase against anti-mages just because, like, your lane is just kind of neutral, right? Like, AM, if you burn your mana off, you still have reactive armor to work with, so it kind of works like both ways. It's like, of course, you have a low mana pool, so you don't want that. But the faster you lose your mana and the more armor you have, fantastic against AM.
Right.
Because you can just trade hits.
But then it comes down to a CS war, in which case Anti-Mage is going to win.
Yeah.
Right? He just has better attack damage than you.
I mean, right now, 16 should just... They have a pretty... I think what you should do is like this 4 protect 1 style.
Yeah.
But it kind of feels a little bit countered because of the ET. It feels a bit different in that regard.
10 seconds remaining.
Last pickup for 16. So what are we thinking this is Timbersaw off lane, safe lane, Naga Siren?
Could do mid Naga as well.
Mid
I'd be
Naga?
okay
Yeah.
with some hero like I think you need an egg hitter, honestly. Some like Lina based hero.
Lina, Morana's band.
paiN Gaming's turn to pick.
Oh, they take Lion. Okay,
The
so
new Lion. I had a game with two top 10 players. One of them was Jo.
Mhm.
Jo was playing Slark.
Okay.
We're playing up against somebody's Lion.
Top 10 player?
No, top 100 player.
Okay.
The guy dumpstered Jo because he got to a point where his Finger of Death had accumulated, 5, 6, 7 stacks, and then literally just on sight he would just Finger of Death Jo as a Slark.
Jo
And
just
died.
died.
He would just die.
That's hilarious.
The buildup of Lion damage, it definitely snowballs. It definitely snowballs.
I think
you
they
get to
should
a
scale
point
that
where
a
you just
little.
start one-shotting people.
The thing about it is that most likely it already one shots.
Yeah.
So, and then now you have is it within like 3 seconds after the finger hits?
I don't remember.
There's a grace period, right?
I'm not sure. I thought Finger was. Maybe I'm wrong.
Check it out.
What do you think about the last pick, Lina, for paiN?
I mean, they needed a Weehaw hero. They needed something that plays fast. Because you already have an anti-mage. Like, I think my least favorite thing in the world is when people pick AM lineups and then they'll pick like a Shadow Fiend mid.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have 2 cores that farm. Lina, yeah, she farms, but she also pushes the waves in, which buys anti-mage a lot of time. She has kill potential around the map by herself. Like, these are all very important things to making your AM work. Like, pub players, take notice. You can't just have 3 farming heroes. The other day, I picked Necro mid, and then my offlaner picked Enigma, and my safe laner picked PA. Like, we have 3 heroes then that don't really create space for each other, right? We just have 3 farmers. Like, one of those 3 cores needs to be able to go out and get kills.
You're right. Place the debuff on the target, which lasts 3 seconds.
Yeah,
The
there's a
target
3-second
dies while it
grace
has the
period.
debuff. Permanently increases 50 damage.
Either you need to change it so that he has to get the last hit, a la what happened originally to Slark,
Yeah.
or you make it so that the damage is like 25 at level 1 or something like that.
Yeah. I would prefer, like, he has to get the kill with it. Because that naturally leads to people, they don't want to miss. They want to miss that damage, so they're going to wait until it's the hero's a little bit lower, in which case they're kind of wasting damage in a way, which is...
Let me tell you, that was
nice
an
way.
indirect nerf to Slark. You know, the one where he no longer has to get the last hit? Because Slark players before were like, yo, let me get the last hit. And I just had to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Now I don't give a shit. Like, I'm stealing that.
Dude, when they first brought in that debuff on Slark, what was it, 2 minutes or something like that?
What?
It's like 90 seconds or something absurd, where you have a debuff on somebody that doesn't shift, or what? I forgot what it was called. But you have that debuff on them, and then they can just go to another lane and die, and you're like, oh, agility. Wasn't involved in that kill at all. Still got the agility for it. That was, one of the dumber concepts I've seen.
It's okay. It all works out in the end, you know?
In the
grand
in the
scheme.
ABC of patches,
Yeah.
as they come in. Remember to always carry a TP skull.
Don't really need to anymore. You got to slot
you really
for that.
don't. You just load up on as many TP skulls as you want.
Dude, they gave us a storm plushie for me.
They did. They wanted to make you feel at home. Dota 2 is always evolving. That is very true.
That's my favorite part about the game.
Yeah. It's always a very exciting time. Did Lina change much? I don't think she did, right?
By the way, this is a little bit of a grudge match because I think Duster was not. The thing about it is that nobody's happy when they get kicked,
Yeah.
especially when you feel like it was your former coach. Like, that man's supposed to have my best interest at heart, right?
Yeah, and he just kind of slid into the team.
It's like, I'm sure it wasn't like how that happened, but it never feels good getting kicked from a roster.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, regardless of how things shake up. Like, everyone's first reaction is always going to be, screw everyone up. And then, you know, you eventually come around. I hope that, like, that's why I hope that, like, fly no-tail thing is cool.
Yeah.
I hope, like, everyone's cool on that end. Because that's a shame, you know. Those things happen. And it kind of worked out for both teams. Yeah, I don't think no-tail's complaining right now.
That is true.
Yo, who do you think is going to
I
replace
have nobody
Anna?
muted on this. All well-mannered players, I assume.
Yo, who do you think is replacing Anna?
Oh, I have no clue. They have to announce. Like, don't they have to play in like 3 days, 2 days?
Yeah. What if it's like, who's even available? Like
I don't
Dendy?
know.
That'd be a swerve.
That would be. Oof. OG. The OG brand would get. I mean, they just won TI, and then if they pick up Denny, that's like the 2 biggest moves you can make in Dota 2 to draw fans in.
Money moves. Weehaw has tipped Archangel. So Misery asking? Oh, I mean, it looks like they're being friendly.
Go drink?
Go drink. Okay, so I guess there's no beef at all. I mean, I think
After Major, yeah.
I remember when Duster, he originally tweeted, he didn't seem happy about it. But it looks like everything's cool now. Look at this.
I mean, how mad can you really be when, like, your team decides to take up a second place TI captain over you? You're like...
Well, I think the thing about it is that no matter what, you feel like crap about being kicked. That nobody likes being told, like, you're not good enough.
I mean, as you
going in a
said,
different direction.
you felt like Duster's performance was pretty
It's
good.
fine.
Like, he probably felt like I've done nothing wrong. It's just how is, like, my teammates are just gonna say no to this opportunity to have this captain come in.
I'll say though that
Let's put it this way: if Duster, do you think Duster would say no to Tavo being replaced by Misery? Misery played off lane, you know.
that's the thing that that's why everyone. That's what I was saying about like every. Though that was the led into my point about like everyone's usually cool.
Yeah.
Like it just takes a little bit.
Just takes a little bit of time.
Once
to
your first
reflect.
reactions are gone and like that kind of like burn fades, you're usually good. I mean, look at how originally I remember that Misery was really mad at Artur when remember the secret kick happened.
Yeah.
Then they ended up being teammates like shortly after.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things that happens.
And then Misery got kicked again.
Yeah.
How was he after the EG one?
I have no idea. I'd imagine not happy.
I'm sure that one stung.
Yeah, but he's
Or
immature.
maybe even more than the
Like
secret one.
he's old. He's been around. He knows like how these things go and how
Yeah.
like this shit happens. Like it's not one of these like things that you really care too much about.
It's funny, every single time they EG changed captains, it was like their narrative was like, oh, this is what they finally need. You know, when Misery came on, I was like, this is what they need. They need someone to lay down the law for them.
Hey, they won like their first line immediately.
Yeah, that's true. But apparently, you know, I don't know if they just didn't click or what was it, but maybe it was a little bit too harsh of a law being laid down. And then Fly came in. It was like, okay, maybe that's perfect. You can't balk top Fly.
Thank you.
Boy's a beast.
Boy's a beast.
He's got the results to back it up.
He's also huge. That helps the most. That man's as large and in charge.
You could back talk Misery. He's just gonna get mad and yell at you.
Yeah.
Fly though.
We're not saying that, by the way, if people are misinterpreting that Fly is gonna, you know, use violence against any of his players.
No. Because
We're
Fly
just
is
saying-
definitely not that kind of person. But
I mean, my guy can just like flex his bicep and his shirt's ripping a little. that in itself, it's the, what is it? Have you seen It's Always Sunny? It's the implication. It's the implication.
Fly just gets you kind of a stare.
Yeah.
Once you pushed him a little bit too far, that's it. That's
That
all
guy,
that happens.
you know, that guy eats egg whites for breakfast. That in itself, for me anyway, that's like, you're good, dude. Respect, you've got it.
Everyone gets up late, 10, 11 a.m. They're waking up. Fly's already been on a 5-mile run, worked out for
Whereas like
2
Misery
hours.
superpower is like his face just gets redder. You know?
Uh-huh.
You know who does the best Misery impersonation is paiCat. If you ever see paiCat have him,
yeah.
I'm so tired.
Duster
The battle
trying to dance on his team right now.
what
Is
the-
going to get juked, and HFN's going to go pick up the other bounty rune. So it's going to be paiN who gets 3 out of 4.
Okay, that was so anticlimactic. They, I can't believe they just got worked by that. He just kind of did the juke and jive, and that he sort of. It's like everyone forgot that he could do that. You know.
Oh, yeah, he can blink.
Oh yeah, dang. Well,
All
that's
right.
him.
That was not the most well-coordinated.
Yeah, you could say that again.
So Hiko and Theolacor are going to be playing an aggro dual lane bottom. We've got the mid Rubik up against the Lina. Mid Rubik has been, I don't know about you, Blitz, but has looked really powerful in all my pubs.
Yeah, Gunnar was saying that it's actually legit.
It's just crazy how much damage you can get off this Arcane Supremacy.
I mean, the hero benefits from levels so much more than
Yeah.
almost any other hero. Like that, it sort of makes sense that he can be a core in this situation. His nuke is just breathe fire. Let's just say it like it is.
Yeah.
It's breathe fire that connects
Uh-huh.
on everyone. Like it's an unmissable breathe fire. The damage reduction and everything. Oh,
Misery just beating down
you're not fighting
that
ET.
Timbersaw. That Timbersaw win for the early Whirling Death, and even
Mistakes.
with the strength attribute being taken away from Elder Titan, he's still racked up the Astral Spirit damage.
I feel like that's a common mistake people make
Mhm.
when you just immediately go for the whirling death because you're against 2 melee heroes. But it's because you think to yourself like, oh, Timber's really tanky. But remember, it's with the caveat that you have reactive armor.
Dude, look at Misery. Trying to chase down Theolacor right now. They did slightly nerf the Astral Spirit in the latest C patch, but oh Jesus, HFN almost dying to that Whirling Death.
Yeah, and you see why you got it, but at the same time, the death maybe not entirely worth it. Rubik's doing fine mid, as his version of Breathe Fire is quite strong. But I'm not even trying to flame Ice Rock. You know, it's hard to think of spells, but it is kind of funny, right? That they're. Is it really that different? Does Breathe Fire do something that Fade Bolt doesn't, and vice versa? You reduce damage, you nuke a wave.
Big difference now is Arcane Supremacy is like a 500, or Fade Bolt. It's like a 500 damage nuke. The Arcane Supremacy maxed out.
Yeah.
Tavo does have the double stout shield axe against an undying support, which means that he's going to have total free farm in the top lane, 16-0 right now. Murdoch suffering a bit in CS.
He'll be okay. In fact, Rubik is beating Lina.
Where is, oh, okay, he's suicide.
He's suiciding, alright.
Nice.
He has no regen.
Put damage on the tower.
Nice.
Got it. That's 16 damage.
Very well done. Very well done. He's going to wait 1 second. Respawn. Come back to lane. So even though this Timbersaw fed first blood, seems like it's been fine. The combination of the line helps a lot. Line, one of the supports with the better base damages. You have a lot of kill potential on the AM.
Just laying damage into this AM over and over again. Misery's going to come in.
Don't fight
An
Misery.
extra 100 damage. Theolacor is going to have to nuke him as fast as possible. They do get a big Whirling Death hit, but it's not going to change as Theolacor may still get chased down by Misery. Runs out of the Astral Spirit, extra movement speed, so now he's taking a lot of damage here. Theolacor totally out of mana, though. Hiko could give some mana over to the Lion if he wants with these mangoes. Pop one for himself. Looks like they've chased away the Lion, and that's good enough for them. Duster going to make a break for the double damage rune. Instead, it's going to be King Ardu who managed to grab it.
Oh, the Roshan gives him a slap on the butt.
Duster, he's got to rely on Rubik. Be able to get away from this double damage Phoenix.
Roshan definitely bias.
Yep.
Doesn't this just give Axe a free lane, though, for a bit?
I mean, he already had a free lane.
Yeah.
I don't think that Undying was changing that at all.
Well, now it definitely isn't as the Phoenix. Notoriously weak laner. Now as a DD. That's how you make your lane strong. Just find DD runes. paiN actually have pretty greedy supports. I just realized like the amount of lockdown that they have in their team is sort of combo reliant. If you think about it, like there's no guaranteed stun on their team.
If Axe had a bad laning phase, I think this game would just go terrible for them.
I would agree with that, because that means you have to wait on your Axe to get blinked before you can fight, and you never feel good about that prospect. It's like when you pick stun lineups based on like Centaur getting a blink, because you know that Centaur, if he has a bad laning phase, your team just can't do anything for like 16 minutes.
Right.
And that's sort of how paiN's team sort of looks like too. It's like you're not going to see a lot of rotations from their side, because, well, no one wants to rotate, I'd imagine. You just want to farm. Like, all their heroes just want to individually farm. ET and Phoenix. Like, ET's a pretty good laner, Phoenix isn't, but one has the potential to roam and the other doesn't.
Managed to kill HFN. They do kill Theo LaCour at the same time, and it looks like Duster's also going to follow. So they're going to be able to get a double kill, even though they lost their carry for that gank.
Dire's top tower is
Looks
under
like
attack.
HFN just maybe underestimated the damage that this Timber Saw can do to him. Does manage to get a Timber Chain away, walks back into the Stomp, but won't matter. Interesting that he does go for the level of Timber Chain. Most of these Timber Saws in this matchup, they just go 2-0-3.
Dire are
I think
scanning.
1-1-2 is okay. You want the chain against the ET, I'd imagine.
Courier gonna fly right over Theo LaCour, and they ping him now.
Run, Theo. This guy played a sick ES, by the way, when he was on SG.
Yeah.
I remember he like single-handedly knocked Vici. It was Vici, right, that they played in that groups? When we were in Kiev? I'm almost certain it was Vici. When he bodied Vici at, what is it? It was the Roche fight.
Pick up. The Timber Chain going through that Animage. And also well set up to hit multiple trees there. That was the big change, is that Whirling Death now does pure damage.
King RD picks up a kill mid too. Now he's on a killing spree. You can't lose the laning phase, because I think you're going to lose late game if you're...
Gear 16.
Yeah, but just because I feel like you're going to run out of damage.
This Animage just going to get too big.
Yeah, that's my least favorite part about Rubik mid, is that at some point, like, you sort of lack damage.
Yeah. Like, it used to be maybe past 25 minutes. Now, maybe past 35 minutes, you start losing out on damage.
But at some point, the anti-mage with Spell Shield and a BKB, he's going to ruin your life.
Misery trying to beat down Duster real quick, is going to be hexed up, though, and maybe losing his life here instead, as Hiko should be able to just finish him off with the Timber Chain. Okay. Stopping the Stomp.
That was ambitious, Misery. They have done a very good job of keeping AM low, though, in terms of farm.
Yeah.
But this Naga's doing much better than he is. The downside of creep skipping is when you have these like high armor heroes that just get Stout and a Quelling Blade, they don't really care about having to farm under the tower. They do it just fine.
Now the lean is rotated up to this top lane,
He's got
though.
4 Wraith. Like, why even buy a Stout Shield anymore, honestly?
Yeah.
If you're going to go for quads, right? Is there even a point?
You may still need it for that first level 1-2 area.
So that
Stout Shield is very
you
efficient.
can tank the creep wave, I guess?
Yeah. So he abandons his safe lane, goes to the Radiant safe lane. They're going to trade off towers here as best as possible. Now, the Rubik is allowed to continue to farm mid a bit more. They're trying to give the Phoenix the comeback level so he can have Supernova.
They picked Anti-Mage into the Naga, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because AM came in 4th, Naga came in 3rd. Okay. Well, let's see how it goes. Because I think if this Naga gets fat...
Spell Shield is instant, right? Or Counterspell?
Yeah.
So even if, like, he can't get ensnared, and even if they sleep catch him and try and hex him or something, like, that's still not going to work. I wonder if it... Does it not work on the bounce?
No, I think it has to be the initial. Because if you think about it, you're a byproduct at that point. Wow, this looks amazing. That's Invoker. It's Invoker.
Top lane. Timber Saw trying to get away. He's still slowed down by the Battle Hunger, and Tavo just needs to be able to reach him at this point to be able to get the Culling Blade, but he's hexed up first. Theo managed to TP in just in time, and now Tavo deep behind enemy lines, but isn't going to die. He's got this nice little escape route into the high ground. What do you think about the new map changes, by the way? These 4 high ground areas, basically.
I haven't played around enough too much in them. Like, you can definitely tell there's a difference. Like, I keep reflexively walking to camps that aren't there.
Yeah, yeah, same.
That part really throws me off. And where I expect there to be high ground and there's none is the most confusing. Like, on the Radiant left side, it's like, the previous triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it no longer makes sense to me.
The Radiant left side.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah.
Like, this, it just feels like it was poorly drawn. Like
there's like this little copse of trees.
Yeah, there's just
here.
Like
it's weird.
I keep walking and I'm like, where am I supposed to go? I have to keep looking at the map to make sure I know which one is which. And the where the ancients are, I'm just starting to get used to. And mind you, I've got like 50 games on this patch. It's just hard to beat muscle memory of like 1,000 games.
You have 50 games already?
Yeah.
Oh.
On 7.
Smoke up to the bottom lane. Murdoch is going to take the blink. Counter spell onto himself. Telekinesis lifted up in the air. There is. I mean, maybe if he had the blink before, he can go for a gank a little bit later. But ganking this AM is not going to be easy for this team.
And the good thing about Rubik is against anti-mage in this matchup is that you're always going to be able to steal blink.
You gave up their mid tower, William. Are you do you still place? I know you said the map changes. You're still getting used to it. Do you still think the priority of towers is gonna stay the same?
I would imagine so. I can't imagine that's a 50.
They actually did manage to pick up Fire Spirits. Murdoch's gonna need it here to be able to stay alive against HFN, but looks like he's gonna be brought down by the ult anyway.
That was a 50.
And now Tavo, he's gonna go next. See if he can catch the Liqueur as well. Battle Hunger's up in 5 seconds. Sees he's a little bit too far to catch with the call.
When it comes to the mid-tower thing, like before what ended up happening, guys, in case you didn't know, I guess we can talk about it quite freely, is that the mid-tower just controlled such a large portion of your jungle and the control that you would get in there, that what you would do is oftentimes, like, I made a map video guide based on this too, is you take the enemy safe lane tower, you take the enemy mid-tower, and then you pincer in, and all of a sudden, you have free towers to take. Like, the enemy is a lot less incentivized to defend that top tier 2 tower, and once they're less incentivized to take to defend the top tier 2 tower, Roshan becomes yours. And then it becomes a game of just like progressions. Like, it becomes very formulaic. Like, if you watch every pro or pub game, like even you guys that play like 3K, you'll notice this weird progression of things that happen, and that's the normal order of towers being taken. Like, even bad players do it. They just don't know why they're doing it. And I mean, that's what you're supposed to do with it, is get control of the enemy jungle. Like, look at AM now. He just farms top, and there's not a whole lot that the enemy team can do about this, because there's just such a large portion of the jungle that you can't control. There's too much to ward. It's much easier to place offensive wards, because 1 or 2 offensive wards gives you all the info that you need. On top of that, like, now you have to ward mid because you just lost control of that tower, right? And so you have to have this, like, reflexive mid ward place, but now it becomes a game, especially in pro games, where you just run out of the amount of wards that you can place. Like, you don't want that ward there anymore. It doesn't really matter to the rest of the game, but now you have to place it at all times.
Misery is trying to protect his tier 2, and it looks like he's kind of succeeding right now. They're diving very aggressively past the tower, trying to cut the creep wave because they know that their tier 2 is currently on a timer right now, but because of some of these early plays, 16 is just 1 or 2 steps behind when it comes to these objectives.
They're still okay, though, I think, because of how good the Naga's laning phase went. Like, she just traded farm at the Axe. And Timbersaw was also able to have a good laning phase because of what the line was able to do for him. I think this game so far is not terribly one-sided. I'd imagine that paiN has, like, maybe 70-30 lead at this point because of the mid-tower difference.
About a 2,500 net worth lead for paiN. About 1,000 experience is a good telling as well. Successful scan here by the Radiant side, seeing that 16 is trying to kind of bait out this Timbersaw and go for a kill. That's why paiN is just all lined up here, ready to protect their Lina as he catches creep wave after creep wave. Misery, probably a little bit more sacrificial role. He's also going to try and keep himself alive while pushing down this lane. But it looks like they've caught the anti-mage. That's going to be a big pickup. As long as they stop the counterspell, they will be able to do so. Add again.
That's a 50.
Another 50.
Is there a team infinite scaling
like
that you could do? What is it, like Slark?
Yes, there is
Slark,
a lot
Legion.
now. There's a lot of them.
Slark, Legion,
Pudge,
Pudge,
Lion.
Silencer. I think I'm going to try that in our next joke strat.
Okay.
Team infinite scale. Try to push the game 90 minutes, see what happens.
Trying to get a gank onto this Rubik, but Murdoch is wise to their moves right now. Maybe this ward helped him realize a little bit. Oh, that is one thing. I feel like there's a lot of ward spots, but jungle entrances are so wide apart that one ward isn't quite capable of catching all of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I honestly have no idea. Like, I know my spots. I've found, like, a good amount of spots where I think there are good wards, but counter warding just feels impossible right now because there's so much area.
It's also just because you don't really know where the
Oh, that is miss and a half. Misery will be... No, he won't
Okay.
be able to get off the stomp. Hiko, jump in. Looks like the Supernova goes down, but 16 just needs to try and get out of here. Looks like they're going to try and leave their Undying behind. Poor Duster. Left to paiN. The rest of 16 will escape to the right-hand side, still unable to take their mid tower. paiN making sure to keep that pressure there.
That's a phase boots AM.
Sounds about
Radiant's
right.
bottom tower
You
is under
think so?
attack.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely use that movement speed.
I've been
Radiant's
thinking about
bottom
getting it
tower
on
has
Storm.
fallen.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think the attack speed matters.
Huh. That is such a weird change to get your to mine wrapped around. That now the treads is the damage item and phase is the attack speed item.
I mean, you just want attack speed on heroes like Storm,
Yeah.
Anti-Mage.
Attack speed items are few and far between for that sort of middling area.
Yeah.
Just trying to theory craft what items you get on a ban to give them more attack speed.
You saw that post on Reddit that I talked about, right?
Yeah,
On my
yeah.
search. It's like, it was a really good post. It's like, it was less about complaining about Storm and more just like, this is why the hero, in case you're wondering, despite not having any changes, feels worse. And probably the largest one, in my opinion anyways, is the tread switch.
Mhm.
And I don't know how many people feel this, like, because I'm a very field-based player. It's like, there aren't any mid-game attack speed items anymore.
Yeah.
It's like before it was like you go treads into Kaya, into Orchid, and that was enough damage output.
Uh-huh.
And now you can't really fight before that Orchid. And even when you get that Orchid, it just still feels so off.
Yeah. The I know I felt like a lot of heroes, like I've been playing Razor and Abaddon
Yeah.
quite a bit, trying to figure out if they're viable offlane heroes, and S and Y is not like really a great item for either one of them with the change, but they're also attack speed items, you know. And it's like I'm kind of forcing myself to go some of these items that I don't really want just because I need the attack speed.
Can't outrun a wild
It's an
fire.
aggressive invasion into the jungle. They spot out the Timber Saw. They're going to be able to get the call onto 2. Duster is there, but there goes the sleep. Now,
Okay.
the question is, can 16 set up on this one? Duster's almost dead already. He will be able to move to the back line. Hiko's going to set up a really good Timber Chain. There goes the Supernova. They're going to try and focus down with the Naga Siren. They should be able to do so. 2 already
They
dead
got
on
the
the side
egg.
of paiN. Misery's going to be caught as well. Looks like he gets a stomp off, but it doesn't matter. He's going to be chased away. Naga Siren finish off the Lina as well. This is a massive fight for 16, who take down 4 and only lose their Undying.
Oof, that sleep. And they were all stacked up. The thing about it, too, is that the egg was placed directly in the center of that fight, but no protection. You have to use the call in conjunction with the egg. Obviously, the Naga Siren makes that nearly impossible.
Radiant's middle
That
tower
means that
is
if
under
you're the egg
attack.
user, you have to place that
Radiant
egg further
structures
away.
are fortified.
Yeah.
You don't deal more damage being closer to the sun, which doesn't really make sense.
I think his problem is he dove in with the
Radiant's
call.
middle tower
Yes.
has
And then he
fallen.
got slept
You just
immediately.
say, all right, well, I have to. That's what I mean. Like, you're never going to get that combo off.
Yeah.
So what you have to do now, Cap,
Radiant's
is you have to
middle
play
tower
so
is
careful.
under attack.
You have to just be apart from the fight and come in at the very end, which sort of sucks if you think about it, because the entire point of Phoenix is that you get two chances at it.
Yeah. 17 Bloodstone charges for the Timber Saw. Now they're going to catch the AM, blow him up immediately. Now Thea Lacour going to be stomped on as the Culling Blade comes out from Tavo. They will be able to take him out. Murdoch's going to try and get away. He steals the Culling Blade. Nothing low enough for him to chop, though, so they do trade up both their mid and a support for that carry AM. And maybe even more. Duster's going to go for the TP out. Not going to make it. Tavo
That's
stops
fine.
him with the Berserker's Call.
This is, I said, what, 70-30
Yeah.
before, but
Dire's
the
middle
Nagas
tower
had such
is
a good
under
game
attack.
that it's hard to put these things into perspective.
I think it's also hard to judge the power of this new Medusa.
New Medusa?
Feels like you're going to the old right
Radiant
click.
are
I
scanning.
feel like a lot of things have harkened back to the old days of Dota 1, right?
Dire's
I kinda
middle
miss it.
tower is under
Like
attack.
Ice Frog basically brought back both of the old anchor smashes with this Riptide as well as the new Tidehunter anchor smash. He brought back what are a lot of things he brought back?
That's a hero I think could be strong.
Tidehunter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. You place him with a good physical damage dealing 4 position, get Gush early, chase the heroes out of lane nice and early, then start getting those levels for the anchor smash.
Man. I mean, the team fights are always just going to be a little bit rough for you.
Yeah.
The sleep kind of reigns supreme in this game. Like, your supports can't all... Everyone can't really afford a BKB. And there's so many different ways that you can set up around that sleep, too. You throw down the Whirling Death into the center of it. You can throw down a Tombstone. You can always stop the Egg, dive
Dire
combo.
are
The
scanning.
Axe Call is not nearly as strong. Like, Axe needs a BKB quite badly. So otherwise, he's just going to Blink Call, pop... what items does he have? I don't actually have. I'd imagine he has a Blade Mail, right?
Blade Mail, yeah.
You Blink Call, Blade Mail, Naga Sleep, reset.
He also can get Yules by Rubik, which is a little less commitment than the Naga Siren Sleep.
Yeah.
We've got that available. Murdoch is about to complete the Aghanim Scepter, and then he's going to go for an Aeon Disc after that. So checking out some of the other items. Blink Lion. Hiko going for Yule's Scepter as well. The Naga Siren already shown him a couple times. He's going for the Heart. All right, Anti-Mage did go for Battle Fury into Manta. The double Wraith Bands.
Yeah,
King
no big
RD
difference.
working towards the second item Shivas, which is pretty normal. What's the only difference for Ian?
Huh?
What's the only difference?
I said no change.
Oh, no change.
The only thing that looks weird is the Treads as another pickoff. How much damage does that line
Dire's
have?
top
Must be at
tower
least
is under
150 now.
attack.
Yeah, he's sitting at
200?
extra 200 damage. King RD, he's going to be caught. Doesn't really have an easy way out of here. He's just going to go for the TP, but he's caught with the Heal Core. Double kill for him now.
And this team is good. I mean, I thought that paiN was going to just run over this region, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because that's what's been happening. Is that paiN just qualifies for everything. But 16 right now, putting in work.
So do you disagree with Tavo's choice of the Shadow Blade? You said
I think he's
needed
trying
a
to find
BKB.
that Naga.
Mm.
That's... I think he wants more positioning items because he understands, like, I have... For the rest of his team... like, I think my error with saying that he should go BKB is that it only solves his problems, not everyone else's, potentially.
Right.
Like, once this Naga gets Heart, can you really burst her, though, is the problem.
Weeha giving up his farm to HFN, who was currently being outpaced by the Naga Siren, which is not a surprise. Naga Siren carry does out-farm AM.
That's crazy to think about, because Anti-Mage has always been thought of as the Flash
Radiant
Farmer of Flash Farmers.
structures are
Yeah.
fortified.
When he gets Battle Fury Yasha, you have that perfect mix
Radiant's
of creep
top
clearing
tower is under attack.
with attack speed.
Nice blink in, catching the Phoenix. He does have a dive, will be able to get it off, so he's actually okay for now. Not hit by the LSA, though. Nobody from 16 is going to be caught in that deep incursion here. Timbersaw playing very far forward, will still catch King RD.
Oh,
Who
no.
pokes his little bird beak out a bit too far.
Radiant's
Sad
top
squawk.
tower is under attack.
That is now going to be a tier
Radiant
2
structures
as
are
well as a
fortified.
tier 1. Increasing the very small net worth lead that 16 has. HFN just doing what he can to push in mid, take advantage of whatever farm has
Radiant's
been
top
left
tower has
behind
fallen.
by 16. But
Dire's middle
a
tower
big
is under
objective
attack.
push by the underdog Brazilian squad here.
And they're doing fine.
Yeah.
All three of their cores are in pretty good position. This line is always going to be effective in this game. He scales so well now. Like, the amount of damage that you can put out. Imagine if he just gets on Weehaw. You finger of death him to start the fight. It's at like 200 health. Congrats.
Radiant's
Yeah, you
middle
compare
tower is under
your
attack.
finger of death to his Laguna Blade right now. He's doing what? 925 damage. It's amazing how just like a couple of kills all of a sudden makes your finger of death go from a level 1 to level 3 ulti. Hiko's going to be pulled back into this tier 2 area, but
Radiant's
paiN.
middle
They don't.
tower
The,
is
the
under
new
attack.
the new Naga doesn't rush very fast, right?
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
She still does armor reduction,
Hmm.
so I presume it's okay.
This is one of the things about the patch guys, like being a caster sucks. So I want to be able to tell you as an analyst like definitive things, but I won't lie to you. So I'm not
Regeneration.
absolutely certain, right? And I don't want to ever say things to you that I'm not reasonably sure about, as one can be in Dota.
Plus, at this point, I mean, this Naga Siren is so over-farmed that it's not even like a reasonable showing. If they do Roshan right now, like he's got items that you just wouldn't really expect a Naga Siren.
He's got
to have.
Heartman to defuse. What time is it in the game?
It's 27 minutes in, almost.
Boy,
Yeah.
can't stop that guy.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't died once. And I think that's something that teams are gonna pick up on really quick, is that you have to gank this Naga Siren before she starts spreading out all over the map. Because as soon as she starts getting that map control with her illusions, just like in the old days with the
Dire's
Radiance
bottom
Naga
tower
Siren,
is under
it just
attack.
becomes so
Radiant
hard
are
to
standing.
actually find the real one, because all your lanes are always being pushed in. Well, what an opportunity
Well,
this
here we
one
go.
is. They are going
You
to be
get the
able
blink
to
call.
jump into the pit with Tavo. They managed to get the call, but he
Get
missed
the
RDO. RDO managed to get off the sleep in time. They still lose one, but an immediate buyback. They're going to be able to get off the
Egg hits.
Supernova. It stuns up on a Naga Siren, but they're still going to be okay for the time being. Managed to pop the Manta, dodge some of that damage coming in. Hiko's laying in some damage of his own, but RDO needs to just get out of here. The stomp, not quite going to land, but Laguna Blade in for the side from Weehaw is going to be able to land, and now Hiko, low on health, is going to have to Timber Chain his way out of here, using that Bloodstone to heal himself up a decent amount. Looks like they caught the Lion
They're gonna
as
give up
well.
Roshan now. This was such a big mistake. Roshan, like they were doing fine without it. It was the commitment for everyone to be in the pit, and
Yeah.
then getting hit by the egg stun. They sticked around a little bit too long. I think they were loath to like give up on it.
Right.
They were thinking to themselves like, we have to take this Aegis. Like this is our Aegis. We were the ones that started it. And now look at the position that you just put yourself into, because you're going to give that anti-mage who we said is going to be very strong in this game a free Aegis. And you knock down the Naga. You get a kill on the Lion.
I mean, look at Naga Siren was holding like a very consistent 5,000 net worth lead on this anti-mage, if not more. And now that gap has just been completely closed and only down to 2K.
Dire's middle tower is
And
under
with
attack.
an Aegis, you can expect paiN are very likely start taking some further objectives as well. There's still,
Yeah, this AM almost has a completed butterfly right after that fight.
yeah.
That's such a big power spike.
Think about what a world of difference it would have been if Naga Siren had been able to complete the butterfly first. Instead, it's going to be going for Scotty. He had butterfly queued up before that fight at some point, but is that a Silver Edge? No, just a regular Shadow Blade. So not going to be able to cut away that heavy armor that Timbersaw is currently rocking, but they will be able to, with the AEM, very quickly take away a lot of his mana. Now he's going to be stunned up even more, but still very healthy, especially with the help of the Undying Heal. So he's going to jump to the backline to Thea Lacour, pops that counterspell, and takes away all of his mana. Caught again. Now the magic damage laid into him. Timbersaw almost dead. The Naga Siren Sleep is going to be able to buy him a bit of
fight
time
this?
to
No,
try
you
and
guys
get
gotta
away.
get out.
But Tavo on the hunt. All he needs to do, nice, cutting down the trees to be able to get into the high ground. And now with a Stomp coming out, they will be able to buy some time thanks to Murdoch, but he's going to have to give up his life for the rest of his allies to survive. He'll be chopped down eventually here.
That's the second fight in a row now where they hesitate and it looks like they want to stick around for the fight.
So only 2 survive on the side of 16, paiN. just mopping up heroes, and you can see Tavo is still looking for more, still looking for that Naga Siren. 30-minute bounty runes are coming up, and RDO does not risk positioning himself there to grab them.
Man, this game is, I mean, it's turned around in a hurry. As paiN, they're just a little bit more disciplined. They're now making the initiations and the reads. This anti-mage is starting to get online, and it's a lot of 16 panicking and just not thinking out how they want to take these fights.
Yeah.
I felt like this game was well within their reach. And now it's twice now where they pop the song, and they don't really know. Like, it feels like somebody must be saying, like, we can fight, and somebody else is saying, like, no, we can't. You can't halfway commit to these things. Not against paiN's lineup. Because the thing about it is that Anti-Mage, Lina, and Axe move very quickly in team fights. They have 4 different ways to gap close. On the side of paiN, you've got Dive as well. ET obviously has a range spell. It becomes hard to decommit to the fight. Like, once you're in there and you decide, like, all right, we're maybe going to fight this, you have to just all in for that.
Right. Pure damage from the Laguna Blades, the Aghanim Scepter, really showed its work against that that Timber Saw. Just cut him down. Actually, he didn't pick up any. He didn't pick up a hood or anything. Just bracers. That's all you need. That's where you get your magic resistance now.
What does Hood do against Lina? Pure damage ulti.
Yeah, I was saying for like the first 20 minutes of the game.
I'd get a Lotus Orb if I were him, maybe. Lotus would be pretty value.
I am seeing a lot less hoods in general, just because like you get triple or quad bracer, and it's
good
so much magic resistance.
Oh, this would be a very big pickoff.
If they can catch him, King RD is on the side here with the Supernova. It's going to
blink off.
pop it now. But they're still going to try and chase down the lead. They go for the egg, but they've been called up. Oh no, they try and go in, and now they're going to be caught.
Oh, Theo LaCour.
Laguna Blade just cuts down Theo LaCour. Now they're going to try and get out with a song. Duster is going to still be chased down, potentially. King RD wanted to be able to go for Murdoch. Murdoch caught by all the fire damage. King RD is going to be able to chase him down. Murdoch's just a little bit faster than the spray. Will be able to get out, but now the Timber Saw inside the river won't be able to escape from the axe. Oh, he actually gets into the high ground there. And TP's out. He's good. Never mind.
But look at this anti-mage laying waste to that tower with the butterfly completed. No real counterplay to that right now. And that's the second fight that they had to commit off of. And it was the egg that really did it this time. The egg split that team fight in half because you had one team, one half of the team trying to get to the Lina, but they had to get through the egg first. Then the call comes over the top. Makes that impossible. That's what allows me to survive right there.
And this is really one of the dangers of not, like, you have a soft counter in this Song of Siren, but you don't have a way to kill the egg very easily, right? You don't have one of those ranged Lina, Miranas, those type heroes to efficiently deal with that.
What? Isn't that kind of messed up?
What?
Like he just dropped an egg and then it splattered.
Yeah.
Like that's its child, isn't it?
No. Because phoenixes, they die and reborn. So what's the point of creating new phoenixes, Blitz?
I guess.
There's no point in reproduction in the phoenix's evolution, you know?
Makes sense.
So he just lays eggs for breakfast, not for reproduction.
So he eats himself.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another one. David Attenborough definitely didn't talk about this in Planet Earth.
Is this a smoke up? 16, just 5-manning towards the 35-minute bounty runes, I guess.
You know how somebody's going to tell you that you're wrong based on like, but it's like it's a phoenix, it's a mythical creature, guys. We can make up whatever rules we want about it. It doesn't have to follow. It's a bird that dies and revives. What laws of nature does that follow?
Yeah, when you reference some sort of fantasy novel, I'm going to ask if you've checked out Austin Walsh's fantasy realm.
That's super
because in that lore, phoenixes don't need to reproduce.
In my fan fiction, it's piece of shit. Right, so is that a heart? Okay, so here's the potential jump. No, they're going to think twice about it. That's a very tanky Timber Saw, who also looks like he's trying to work towards that hard. And you see that the Axe is going for the BKB just a little bit later. Now that his team has more farm and can back him up.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to stop them from going on the egg, even if he's just the only person not slept.
You got another butterfly?
No idea. That can't be the item. Then again, what is?
35 agility, 25 damage, 30 attack speed.
Dire's top
I have to
barracks
imagine
are
it's like a
under
heart or
attack.
something next.
Or a BKB. So
Yeah.
he also isn't screwed over by the song?
Well, Spell Shield is good for you anyways, I think.
No, I would say for the Saga
Oh,
Siren.
for the song, not. I think you're good. Oh. This is the problem with Core Rubik, is that you will just straight up die in 2 seconds.
Thou monster.
Song, TP out.
All right, but now you don't have Song, you don't have Rubik. Isn't this an opportunity to just go high ground?
Very likely.
Don't be scared. Just go. Don't be scared, homie. Go top.
No vision outside of the base either with Misery's pick of the gem. Just kind of securing their map control.
Okay.
Leading with a Hex. Weehaw comes in, almost blows up the Illicore immediately, but will barely survive. Gets back to the fountain.
Almost has that
In
one
return,
shot.
they're going to be losing range racks and maybe a melee one. They're going to pop the glyph now.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Hey, Rubik's about to respawn. There's 20 seconds. They got racks. I think you back up here and wait for the next Roshan.
Yeah,
So
Roshan.
the ping has been made by somebody. It looks like that's Misery. That's telling the rest of the team, like, push out this lane like this, and then we'll go high ground next time.
It's funny, the AM showed, so 16 do try and push out. They're not going to catch anybody, though. Unfortunately, that Lion's Blink just half second short of being able to catch the Weehaw Lina. And Boots of Travel for the AM, so he pushes out bottom lane, immediately rejoins his team.
Cooldown separate. Is Roshan up?
2 minutes.
Okay.
I want to see how much these Naga Siren illusions are worth when you kill them.
That Nagas are really farmed.
There's double damage at bottom, too. I'm not sure if they spotted it. They're leaving it, or... Because that would be a sweet pickup right now for paiN. Instead, it's going to be 16 who runs into it. Naga Siren doesn't make the best use of its own damage, but it's still going to be a little bit extra. They can use in their next team fight. Hiko. He's going to position himself on the front lines, as always, with the Heart, as well as the Bloodstone active available. He wants to be gone on. He's got 4,500 HP. Misery afraid to be caught there, managed to get the call on a murder, but he had an Aeon test. They didn't expect that one. Now the song goes out, and it's only Tavo, the BKB activated. They're immediately going to surround Weehaw, blow him up as quick as possible. Now the Supernova egg goes down, and they're not going to be able to go for it. The call goes in once again from Tavo, gets blown up by the Elder Titan Ultimate, and now with the Animage dealing with that Timber Size completely out of mana, while the rest of his team cleans up the Illicore. That's going to be an easy one. Hiko is going to be the cherry on top of that fight. It started off bad for paiN, but the Supernova call combination once again bails paiN Gaming out of another team fight.
And the positioning of the egg that time was perfect. It was on the low ground, and it was close enough that it was going to hit everyone, but just far enough that no one could really reach it in the backlines. And that's the ideal egg. I know I talked to you about this a lot, about like how egg positioning should be. It's like a lot of people are obsessed with getting it right on top of everyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't deal more damage.
And the range is gigantic now. Long dive in from King RD as they almost finish up the Timber Saw. He has no mana, so the Animage is not doing a whole lot of damage either. They're stun up top of to make sure he can't Cooling Blade Hiko, and he will be able to get back to the base.
So don't have the Naga though. This is going to be at least one Rax, and without buyback, I think now you reset, go into the Roshan pit. It is available to you, and this should be the game. This is the stamp on the game. This is like the you can no longer win. Please get out.
This is why 16 must contest this Roshan.
This is my problem with Timber as a hero in the last patch and this patch. I think anyways, is at some point it just feels hard to get your damage off.
Yeah.
Like this hero doesn't love going BKB because you already go defensive items in this Bloodstone, but you sort of need it. And on top of that, like, I don't know, your ability to fight and put out damage and chase people is not that good.
Call leading off with the Timber Saw. Tavo activates the BKB. Hiko's going to be fine for now, though. He is super tanky. Another Abyssal Blade comes in. They do manage to get the ensnare onto the Animage. Timber Saw lifted up in the air, trying to get a Timber Chain away, but stopped by so many of these stuns. The Culling Blade doesn't latch, but eventually he will fall. The Supernova going off, and it looks like 16 with no buybacks on the rest of their heroes, and only their Naga Siren and Rubik alive. I can't see how they're going to be able to survive through this one. They're just going to try and push down mid, prevent somehow paiN Gaming from being able to go for the high ground push.
And they're going to protect their wave, bring it up. This is the double catapult as well. Anti-Mage beelining towards that bottom area. This is going to be a 3-on-5. It's the Spell Shield.
Telekinesis, and it lasts so long too. HFN not going to be able to kill him, though. The blink away happens a bit too fast. Aeon Disc
pops through the Battle Fury.
Unfortunate there. Now he can't play nearly as far forward as he was hoping to for his Naga Siren.
Double Butterfly. Just hit buildings.
Tavo managed to get the initiation on Murdoch. Follow up LSA Laguna Blade. It's an overkill. That's it for game one. paiN Gaming easily running over them after the 30 minutes, but the first 25 was heavily contested. It felt like 16 was actually winning. It was all came down to that one Roshan fight.
Yeah, that one Roshan impacted way too much, because then it then led to the next fight being so rough for 16. It's like, if that fight goes well, you don't all clump into the Roshan pit and then have this like hem and haw, like, do we go for it? Do we stay? What are we really doing here?
You could see that win probability. This has got to be that first Roshan, right? Just shoots up.
I was like, it's going okay. Things are even-ish. We have an AM, so maybe we're still ahead. So my 70-30 was pretty close.
Yeah. You could see the giant lead that the Naga Siren had.
Then that Roshan fight. Boom.
That Roshan fight. He goes down. Animage starts picking up the speed. Eventually eclipses.
I don't think you can get behind with a Timber Saw and a Rubik as 2 of your 3 cores.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be pretty definitively ahead. That's why I wasn't even willing to crown 16 as that far ahead, even when like the gold lead was pretty close.
Right.
Just because, well, like 2 of your 3 cores aren't going to scale like the rest of paiN's are.
I think it's harder for Naga Siren. Like, Naga Siren has this big team fight spell in Song of Siren, but individually, Animage just kills your teammates much faster than Naga Siren can do the same. You just kind of like run illusions at them and chase them out of fight, but you don't actually kill them oftentimes. So that's game one for paiN versus 16.
I just realized how lazy I looked right there. Like, I was comfortable
all
though.
the time. All the time.
I was completely spread out when I was watching the game. Because you guys can't see it, but I don't have a computer. I just have this like
his big TV right in front of him. So it's like he's at home watching Sunday football.
Like,
hey guys, what's going on?
You guys can do that too.
Are we going to a break, Rob? Yes. Okay. All right. We are going to go to a break.
We'll be back though, guys.
We will be back for game 2.
This man,
paiN versus 16.
We'll be here with you soon.
What, you're not?
I'll be here. I'll be around in spirit.
All right. Break time, boys.